waste or less of trash if we move around with our own personal bottles. But then again, that means we need to find reliable sources of water. Okay? So now, no one here has their own personal water bottle.
Right now.
Like right now. I'm a little bit disappointed. When it comes to climate change, climate activism, we always talk about conserving our environment. But then if we're not trying to reduce waste where we are right now, what makes you think we are able to help our earth outside after we finish what we're doing here? See, I'm going to write down. Whatever is all charity begins at home. Start at home. Move around with the water bottle. Have less waste or less trash. Yes, trash. There's money in trash, of course. Recycling. Do you know the recycling companies in your area? Who's picking up the waste for you? Are there people in your areas, like initiatives or young people, of course, the youth, with such organizations that need water bottles, that need old clothes? I heard someone was makes, renewable clothing earlier. Yes. All right. Are you doing that for yourself? Those are some questions that we should be asking. Anyways, me, I have my water bottle. I don't know about you, but me, I have my water bottle. Me, hold on.
Yes.
It's here.
Clap for her.
And clap for me. So wherever you go, remember what? Yes, it is him. I do not see. But yes, wherever you go, remember to always carry yourself a water bottle to produce less waste. And always I say this, when you're drinking water, drink water and mind your business. That's my slogan. All right?
What if you choke?
You should want Lumo. We're getting into our next session, which of course will be facilitated by Kedewai. It will be facilitated by Kedewai, who will be introducing Mr. Patrick, and of course the breakout session. However, for now, let's get to some entertainment coming from Carlos, who's doing a poem. So give him a round of applause and give him the energy that you have to give.
Okay, so my name is Carlos, the Poetic Messiah. So this piece is titled Let Us Meet. Two detectives try to trap the truth, but the truth they try to trap turned and trapped them too. More common places than heartbeats among the living is ignorance. Let us unite to combat climate change. Plant trees, restore our planet's range. Let us lead. They come with plans bakamba na chizungu. Bakutoka chekudala, we've been living this life. They say they want change. Bakutoka chekudala, we have been living this life. We know this place. We know where water flows best. Because in life we are too. But still decisions are made far from us. But they decide for us. But what if solutions come from the, not from officers, but from the people who live it every day? Because we are not the future only. We are the solution now. Young people are not just sitting. Tima Ganiza. Tima Esa. We try small ideas that can make sense. Because we are not the future only. We are the solutions now. Change will not come from afar, but change will come in. From the people who live it every day. From the community. So, let us lead. Peace. Carlos T. Poet.
Another round of applause. And it's something even bigger. Awesome. Mukadabang, please, would you come through?
That was a very short poem, eh? Oh, short and good, nice, amazing. So I'm going to invite Muka to come explain to us about the breakout sessions we're going to have. So we're going to run round 2 for our sessions. So as we go into those sessions, please ask the relevant questions, contribute, learn, and then learn what you've learned, you know. So a big round of applause for Muka.
Thank you. This way. Okay. So like we said in the morning, today is all about the position paper. So what we're basically doing is developing this position paper. The consultations that we're doing in the group, obviously the team in the technical group will come and bring everything forward so that tomorrow we can then present it to the Ministry of Green Economy and other partners that are coming to the meeting. Is that okay?
Yes.
So are we ready to give them what the Zambian youth want to say?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. So for our next discussion points, we have climate finance, which will be led by Blutas. Maybe Blutas, can you just stand so that people know you? Oh, he's waving his hand there.
Stand.
Do we see him?
No.
A round of applause. Then indigenous knowledge, which will be facilitated by Valepi. Do I see Valepi? A round of applause for Valepi as well. And then clean energy and just transition, which will be facilitated by Henry. A round of applause for Henry. Okay. And then these teams then will be assisted in terms of rapporteuring by Chimwemwe. Chimwemwe will be in the climate finance. Where's Chimwemwe? Yes. Chimwemwe will be in the climate finance, so she will be recording everything that they will be, discussing. And then we have Taonga in the indigenous knowledge. Taonga, can you get up? A round of applause for Taonga as well. And then the other rapporteur in the just transition will be Shimba. Shimba, can you get up? Thank you. So we are back to the same system that we used in the morning. I hope we have a bit now of knowledge of the groups that we want to go into. Climate finance. How many people want to go into climate finance? Climate finance, can we see your hands up? Esther, can you just take notes? Yes, so climate finance has to do with the monies, in terms of climate action. I think maybe we'll even talk a bit about maybe CDF access to climate change projects and all those things. So can we have the hands up so that Esther can take notes? Okay. The other one is indigenous knowledge. How many people want to go in that team? Indigenous knowledge, traditional knowledge on climate change and action. How many people would like to know more about that? Okay, your hands up really high. Okay. And then the just transition. Clean energy and just transition. So Esther is just taking notes. Your hands really up. And then there are others who just don't know. Like they haven't lifted up their hands for anything. No, those are the only options we have. Yeah. So can we say them again? Okay. Just transition and clean energy. Your hands up.
Okay.
Just transition. I want to know more about the indigenous.
Indigenous. You want to say something? Valerie?
Perfect.
Yeah.
Basically, what indigenous knowledge means is everything that we can categorize as African. Okay. So, indigenous knowledge is every practice, every technology that we've utilized throughout the years to shield ourselves, adapt, and equally mitigate some of the things that lead to climate change. For instance, how some people may use indigenous knowledge to understand how the climate works, right? So this includes mambo ikapaka maningi this year na mvula. You can utilize that. There are some that say we use the moon to tell what amount of rainfall we're going to have, when it's going to start, because that is indigenous knowledge. So it is everything that we can just put as African science to understand climate change and our own way of life, and how do our practices contribute to climate change, and how can our practices make sure that we mitigate climate change.
Thank you very much, Balefi. Do we now understand?
Yes.
Okay, so traditional, local knowledge, how many people, indigenous knowledge? Okay. And then just transition. Henry, you want to say something about? Yes, you want to say something about just transition so that people can understand.
Okay, so we are going to talk about energy and just transition. Definitely, we'll look at the alternatives we can use in order to adapt to these climate changes which are affecting our economy. We are also going to talk about how we are going to shift from charcoal to other sources of energy, which are renewable and sustainable. I think this is what we are going to be looking at in this discussion. Thank you.
Thank you. So how many people now? All those people thinking about load shedding solutions and all those things. Okay. Okay. All right. So we'll do what we did earlier on. We'll still allow people to go in the different groups, and those that are not sure will stay just at the back so that we can sort the numbers out. Is that okay? Okay. So we have 3 groups. One group will be in the boardroom, the other one will be here, just like in the afternoon or in the morning, and the other one will be at the swimming pool. Okay. So those going to climate finance can go with Glutas right now. Glutas and Chimwemwe. They can go with Glutas and Chimwemwe to the boardroom. Someone will take you to the boardroom. Maybe come outside and take you to the boardroom. Okay, those going to the boardroom, thank you. And then those going outside, which will be Valerie and her team. So Valerie and Taonga, can we follow Valerie and Taonga to go to the group that will be somewhere close to the swimming pool? Oh, this one. Traditional knowledge, indigenous knowledge. Indigenous knowledge people, we can follow Valerie and Taonga close to the swimming pool. Thank you. And then the just transition people now, we have to get close to here. So you can come on here. Just transition. We can come close to this table and surround the table.
Hi, my name is Esther, a climate change activist, and I am attending the Lcoy 2023. I urge youths around Zambia and the world to engage themselves in climate change talks and conversation to promote climate compassion and, of course, save our earth, because we only have one earth and one Zambia. Lcoy 2023.
Please also do relay our message to the Ministry of Green Economy to say young people are also ready to take on hands-on action projects when it comes to climate change space.
A lot of young people in here are activists, they have ideas, very vast ideas. Even when you have conversations with them, they have so many ideas that they would want to achieve. But the biggest challenge has always been climate finance.
I have to say that I had time to engage with some of you and throughout the years I have been here in Zambia. And I can say that you have found inspiration and wisdom in young people. You are our sounding board, and our development program, thanks to you, thanks to your feedback, focus more and more on targeting young Zambia. And we want to create also a space for meaningful involvement of young people, including through a youth advisory for our partnership efforts in Zambia.
Attend this meeting. Going forward, I think we will attend every meeting organized by this at the airport.
Climate change is complicated. It has no intentions to flatten. Its voice is audible. Its career against notes to matter. Climate justice or climate injustice, the duration makes you choose the latter. Greedy and selfishness are the only food saved on the platter. Climate change is complicated.
Guys, welcome. This is the Lcoy 2023. We've been learning so much for the past 3 days, and today is the final and last day.
And of course, last year we did the Lcoy. We produced another position paper. And for this year, we first of all started with reviewing what was achieved and what remains in order for us to see what we can carry with this year's position paper. And I think the deliberations that are coming from young people.
So we'll be looking at energy and just transition. Yes, so we are just here to look at the problems and the guidelines of getting recommendation for this position paper. The guidelines for this position paper. Yes. Okay, so to start with, we're going to identify the core problem. We're going to identify the core problem in energy. We're going to identify the core problem in energy. That's the first step that we're going to take. Secondly, the guiding question is, what is the main climate change? What is the main climate challenge under the theme in Zambia, under the energy in Zambia? Then from there we're going to look at what are the expected outcomes. What are the expected outcomes? One clearly defines the priority of the same one problem. So, like, what's the outcome of the same energy in Zambia? How will it look like? What will be the outcome? So, the first step we said to identify the problem of the energy crisis in Zambia. Number two, we're going to look at the guiding question, which is what is the main climate challenge under energy in Zambia? What's the main climate challenge under energy in Zambia? So we can start. Can we start? Okay, so number one, identify the core problem of energy in Zambia. What are the problems? What are the major problems we're facing here in Zambia? The mic is on. You have a hand just for example.
Okay, so when we're looking at sustainable or green transition energy, how we're supposed to shift, I think the main focus for Zambia are two things. Firstly, we look at financing. So renewable energy is very expensive for Zambia to finance. We look at renewable energy such as building a dam, using hydropower is expensive to start with. Trying to build wind vanes or even solar panels is expensive compared to other methods which people use, such as charcoal or any other form of method. So it's really expensive.
Thank you so much.
Oh, okay.
Thank you. Sorry, I'll be fast. So we don't have much time. Okay. So number one, it's very much expensive. We've identified that energy is very much expensive. Other was what other problem can we identify in energy sector? Yes.
We're over-reliant on unsustainable energy practices like charcoal and what she said, hydro,
yes.
and what else? a bunch. I can't think of
Biomass.
Yeah, biomass as well. So we have a lot. Like, I'm just adding on to this, like expensive. We're relying on non-sustainable energy practices, like the charcoals and the hydro. But then the ones that we can afford are too expensive. The ones that we're supposed to be doing are too expensive.
I saw now. Pass the mic. I think we can be introducing ourselves. Yes.
My name is Priscilla Shona. So another problem that we face in the energy sector is that as Zambians, we usually, like when it comes to people who are experts in certain areas of the energy price that we talk about, renewable kind of energy, we have very few people who are specialized in that area, and it makes it very difficult to implement certain practices or certain projects because they are few people who are specialized in it.
Okay. Thank you so much. I think we'll now move forward. So, like, what is the expected output? Like, what would be expected after, let's say, we find a solution? What would be expected? What's the expected outcome in the energy sector? We've talked about the problem, right? So, like, what we expect? What we need to? So we identified the problem, isn't it? We looked at the guiding question, which says what is the main climate challenge under energy sector? Yes.
So are we not supposed to make that?
What is expected? Okay. So we've identified the problem, right? The problem is.
But identify the solution.
Yes.
So we can't jump from the solution. Go then
so yeah. Okay. You want us to identify the problem?
Yeah, we've identified the problem.
Yes.
So now we're going to look at the causes. Like, so are we doing solutions?
So we've identified the problem, then we've also tackled the challenge. What is the challenge? Isn't it? We've talked about the challenge. Have we talked about the challenge?
Or
we're still on the.
Yeah, is that?
So from identify the problem, we're going to go on the challenge.
So
Identified one problem.
The challenge, so.
I'm a bit behind.
So
I think the problem we combined with the challenge. Like when we're talking about the problem, we already combined.
Is the problem not the challenge with the challenge?
Okay.
Yeah. I think it's basically the same thing.
Let's do this. Let's go step by step. So step one, we're identifying the core problem in energy sector. What is the problem in energy sector? The problem first. Followed by the main guiding question, which is what is the main challenges under energy sector?
So it's the same.
Yeah.
Similar, yeah?
Not similar, it's the same.
Yes, it's just the same because it's high cost of renewable energy and technology.
Yeah.
And also high cost. It's very expensive.
It's expensive. Like
So just the same.
the renewable energy is expensive. The problem is that the
That is the problem?
yes, the non-expensive energy practices are my name is Monica. The expensive energy practices are unsustainable.
Yeah, that they have.
And then the renewable ones that are reliable are expensive.
Yeah.
That's the issue.
Yeah.
I think another challenge
Big
is
challenge
another challenge that I've noticed is the behavior. Sorry, my name is Chison. So the behavior in terms of the way we perceive certain things. For example, when we talk about charcoal, everyone knows to say charcoal is cheap, yes. But in terms of what's the behavior towards charcoal? Because as much as we're talking about charcoal, we're also talking about things like nowadays there are even gases whereby you can even go at a station where you can fuel that tank, which is cheaper than even charcoal. But the behavior that we have always about that notion to say charcoal is cheaper than these other means of energy.
Okay, I'll come to you. So we'll move forward for now. So we've identified the problem, look at the challenge, isn't it?
Yes.
And what it will lead to, isn't it?
Also, we're now going
Yes,
we're now going to what
it may lead to. Okay.
Okay, we are now on what it will lead to. If we don't have clean energy or energy, what will that lead to? I'll start with you. If we don't have energy, what will that lead to?
Another person contributing and be able to come in.
So I'll be picking 2 hands per question. Is that okay? Is that okay?
Right.
Okay. Yes. What?
Okay, so it will lead to Zambia increasing its carbon emissions due to its using unrenewable and sustainable forms of energy.
Okay, do we all agree with that?
Like it leads to more production of like carbon dioxide. Like for example, if we use charcoal, we use this and that, instead of us polluting less, we end up polluting more because we're using cheap things that are not very healthy, even if we use petrol or something like that.
Yes.
Another one. What I understand, I don't understand the question. Sorry.
Or like what will us using unsustainable energy leads to?
Yes.
So we're looking at unsustainable.
Yes.
So like, what are the
Is that the question?
like we've got this energy, yeah? Like if we don't use renewable sources of energy, what would that lead to? So we identified the problem. We talked about financial. We talked about the financial part, the expensive and all that. So now, what will that lead to?
Yeah. So I think.
My name is Precious Kulumbwana. It will lead to food insecurity and more poverty, and we also that's all.
Yes. No. We want more points. Like we want. You've taken down some points. You can give us.
Yeah, loss of biodiversity and also employment opportunities.
Yes. Okay. So we'll now go to the next question. Go to the next step. Sorry, the next step. So let's identify the root cause. What is the root cause of energy? Is it unclean energy?
So
like it's unclean energy. We are trying to adapt. So like we are dealing with issues of unclean energy. Okay, I think I did mention this earlier. So like we've got different types of energy. Okay, maybe we started this one. We've got different types of energy. Just to give a background, we've got different types of energy and sources of energy. Number one, we've got solar energy. We've got biogas. We've got LPG, or others call it as gas. We've got biomass. We've got nuclear energy. We've got all sources of energy we have, but what we are looking for is clean and sustainable energy. We've got examples like fuel. Fuel is a sort of energy, but it is not clean, isn't it? Is it renewable? No, it is not renewable. It is more like LPG gas, isn't it? It's not renewable, but it is sustainable. So this is maybe just to give us a picture of what energy looks like. Yes. So now, identify the root cause. What is the root cause of this unclean energy? What is the root cause of this? Yes. By the way, there are no wrong answers. This is
sure.
Yes. What is the root cause?
I believe one of the root causes they spoke accessible energy. I'll give an example of travel or cutting down trees, right? Deforestation is easy access. And was not strong enough policies for cutting down.
Not strong policies, easy access of trees. This is why we.
Yes, and it's very affordable to communities that are able to afford, let's say, like LPG. Not everyone can afford LPG, right?
Yes.
So a person from the community, no local communities, they should try using travel compared to gas. Because they know travel, you can buy it in what you
Okay. Yes, there.
Also, thank you. My name is Karen.
Yes.
The other thing that is also contributing to the use of sustainable energy sources is lack of information on the other renewable sources of information.
Awareness.
People know about charcoal. I mean, classic civic thing people need to be aware of having this awareness.
I think it's just to add on, it's very much important. You know, awareness, if people don't know about these things we teach, they can never change. Nothing can change. And I've observed that in most of activities we do, like, we don't put much funding in awareness. Have you observed that? We don't put much funding in awareness, and which makes it hard for the people to get to know about the same issues. Yes, I saw another hand. Yes.
My name is Becca. So I think also unemployment, because people are not employed, so they're able to access charcoal, to be able to earn, to be able to earn an income.
So unemployment is a root cause. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you so much. My name is Juma. So to be precise, the cause is quite complex, but I'll narrow it a little background in a short while. So this issue starts way back. If you look at the Industrial Revolution, what did they prioritize is energy. And if you look at third world countries like Zambia, we have not yet reached the point where we can fully run away from sustainable practices in the energy sector. One of the major problems that we have is also the house planning. The setups of the houses right now, if we look at the majority of the houses, they don't have the mechanism to allow you to use biogas or LPG for either type of energy in terms of cooking. Then you look at where the energy is much more dominated. Right now, we had hydro. That was the point of starting. So now you look at how many households have access to power way back 10 decades ago or 2 decades ago, so to say. So you find that it's only cities, but in these rural parts, there was no power. So you really expect lack of governance policies that are going to ensure that planning and dedication is taken into ensuring the sustainable energy. For example, in other countries, it's a policy that if you're building a house, you must include the solar grid with your house. It should be part of that, so that you also reduce it. So what you're looking at, it's not because of the culture that people have. It's a policy and direction of the country. Right now, the government has tried to put net metering that allows citizens to sell power to this as a way of motivating. But it needs to come low. There are other incentives that have been put, like if you're importing solar products, it's duty-free and custom-free. But we need it to say, if you're building a house, you need to have provision for solar, you need to have provision for installation of gas pipes, even by the council to be provided. That's what I was saying.
Thank you so much.
One more.
One more, last one. Move.
Okay, so for me, I would say we have energy poverty. We have an epidemic of energy poverty, where there's a lot of load shedding in urban areas, so people are forced to get the cheapest source of energy, which is charcoal. And then in the rural areas, very few houses actually connect to the national grid. So most of them end up there. Energy poverty, not just poverty, but
energy poverty. Okay. Nice. Okay, so like we're going next, we're going to the guiding question now. Let us be fast, people. How does this problem, what factors are causing or contributing to this problem? What factors are contributing to this problem? I heard someone talking about lack of unemployment. Yes.
Okay, so for me, one thing that I've noticed when it comes to the causes or something that leads to such things is lack of capacity. For example, when you mention things to do with nuclear energy, and Zambia can't afford that. And away from that, even the change of weather, because, for example, if I talk about to install solar panels, for example, the which Zambia is, for to do a countrywide solar plant, how about times when it's cold? For example, this is like Funsa, maybe one was there where it rains, like it's cold all season. So weather is also another issue that has caused possible losses. Suppose we do windmills, how possible will it be? How sustainable will that thing be here in Zambia? So weather as well as the lack of capacity as a country at large. That's something that has, like for me, makes me feel like something that has caused that.
So we can also broaden our understanding. like how does, like what are the factors causing this problem with energy crisis? We can also look at it whether financially, in technology, in infrastructure, whether in education or different capacities. So we can also look at in those angles. Is the question clear? Yes, I see 1, 2, 3. So one, okay, I'm saying that we can also talk about what factors are causing or contributing to this problem, which is the energy crisis. So we can look at it whether infrastructure-wise, education-wise. Is it clear now? So let us look at this question in those angles. So 1, 2, 3. Yes.
So my name is Olusunzi, and I would say I would like to contribute to infrastructure.
Yes.
So far I haven't heard much of the contribution relating to energy for vehicles. We are driving away from fuels and onto other sustainable means of energy. And when we come to things such as electric vehicles, our country is lacking infrastructure to support that. We need EV, for example, if we have electric vehicles, we need EV charging stations. We also need to invest in infrastructure that allows us to recycle some of these renewable energy solutions. Like if we use the electric batteries, which are much more sustainable than petrol and this carbon fuels.
Next.
In terms of education-wise, it starts right from when we're forming students. Like in our educational system, especially the ones which most people have right now, those who finished school a while back. In our education system, we never used to focus on STEM subjects or anything like that, which means innovation is never promoted. And mostly we just focus on this traditional kind of, should I say, a clean age. And also when we go to uni, we mostly focus on this job social like teaching, nursing, and all those things. But what about the energy sector? We're forgetting that we need energy. You find that the number of specialists who are specialized in, like he said, we need infrastructure now. Who is working on these places? Who is working to make sure that energy is reduced? We find that we have very few specialists in like children back at school never taught to, renovate or anything like that. So from an educational aspect, we also remain behind as a country.
True. Okay. We move forward. Oh, yes, sir. Sorry.
All right, just to add more detail to that. One of the biggest things that you will ever face as a country is development. Development comes with the demand such that also the energy capacity of the country goes down, and equally population density if you have to look at that. But what is important that we're looking at is also the aspects of industrialization. The question, should the country develop at an expense of energy? So these are angles that we have to think and analyze at the same time, because it's very crucial. And I think there's something that is very important in the debate. I think most of the times we are moving to EVs, but the question is how sustainable are they if you look at long traveling between cities? Because if you look at African countries, more especially Zambia, an electric car won't really suffice compared to vehicles using fuel. Those are factors that determining at the level of development where we are. So we can say also the development of our country in terms of our poverty levels, and entirely all that contributes.
Thank you so much. So we are moving at a good pace. We now go to the last one, the expected outcome. What is the expected outcome? So now let us list the root cause. What are the root cause? We're just listing of energy. We're just listing what are the root cause of this energy. What are the root cause? Yes, we're talking about the energy which is not clean. What are the root cause of the energy which is not clean? What are the root cause? Yes, number one, just listing.
I just have a question with the mining.
Yeah.
Like,
maybe you can
maybe it can be
explained.
All right. So if we're looking at the causes of crisis, yeah. So okay, so there are two things. If you look at the nuclear energy, you talk of uranium. That's an atomic bomb on itself, that infrastructure, and it leaves radiation. Those are after effects. But also the other part that you have to think of: how much power does a mine consume in a day to ensure that the entire plant functions? Because energy should be shared. But how much do mines take? Because also mines, for them to sustain and also push the development of the country, they will need power. Because even the time that you're experiencing load management, or not quite load shedding, they didn't see it. ZESCO supplied power to mines 24/7.
Thank you so much. I think it's clear. Okay. What other root causes?
Agriculture.
Contradiction. Go on, invest in it. Yes.
So we look at development in infrastructure utilizing using renewable sources of energy technology itself. You know that technology is heavily dependent on mining. And if all the cobots, the minerals, the copper, everything is used to make all those things. So if we're going to invest heavily on that, which means we invest heavily on mining, so what are we really solving?
Thank you so much. We now move to question 3. Are we together? We are now on question 3 or step 3. It goes like identify the effects of the branches. What are the effects of this energy? What are the effects?
Share the question again.
What identify the effects? What are the effects? Yes, we are talking about energy, unsustainable energy. What are the effects? They are not the same things.
Okay.
They are not the same things. What are its effects? So we looked at the problem. So now, 1, 2, 3. Yes, let's go on.
The effects on using unsustainable sources of energy are, for starters, when we talk about charcoal, we have deforestation, and we contribute to greenhouse gas emissions, which increases pollution as well as our carbon rate.
Deforestation. Okay, next. You can give it to her.
Hi, my name is Nora. I think the other point is
this one is the last one.
For me, I think even death comes in. Death also comes in because how many households, like we've heard of reports where houses
which got burnt like due to electric shock. So according to insiders, the way they described how the causing happened was like there was no shedding. And then the people in the house, they left a certain switch on, and when the electricity came back, the power, the current, the voltage, it was strong, so it hits a certain appliance, and that appliance had to like burn, and it spread the whole house, and it led to about 5 days, and there was only one survivor.
She also has something to share.
Thank you. Economic losses. I'll give an example of what happened during the OTT load management. I work as an inspector on the other side of my life.
Yes.
So we went to this bakery and we found that they had just put in a lot of processes. They were preparing bread and whatever. It's quite a big company. So just 15 minutes into the oven, there was power. So they lost almost everything. They literally found the man crying. So dependence on some of these unsustainable energy practices.
Make sure that the people, the environment, and the economy itself does not face effects as we transit to another form of energy.
Yes, I think all the answers are what?
Correct.
just left one thing, huh? So the process should be slow. Okay? The process should be what? Slow. There is nothing like rush. You just need to adapt. You just need to buy what? It has to benefit the people, like what she said. You need to look at the job aspect, the sustainable aspect. So that is all about just shifting from the use of yeah. So she's talking about biogas being one of the sustainable solution as a good practice. Yes. Meaning adapting to sustainable just transition, isn't it? Yes. So just transition is one of the good practices she's talking about. Okay. Okay. Oh, she does. Nice, nice. Come and support her. Let's go.
Climate smart agriculture, where farmers are coming up with innovative ideas to shift from pesticides and other chemical products to using renewable things that can be used during farming processes so that we don't depend too much on products.
Nice. Another one. Good practices, good practices.
The crisis management that Zambia took after the load management crisis.
Come again?
I'm saying the transition that Zambia took during the load management crisis from not highly dependent on hydroelectric power, but also focusing on solar and exploring other options. Because after the load management, that's when we realized that getting also exists.
And it's coming.
Again.
Yes, 2026.
Yeah. The guy question is saying, what successful initiatives, policies, or community actions or youth-led innovations that already exist that are addressing this issue? Are we seeing anything to do? Should I repeat? Yeah. Okay. The guy question is saying, what successful initiatives? So the charcoal briquettes are made from that. Like when you get that, you put it in a drum. You burn fire, okay? Then you close, you couple. The scientific name is called carbonization. So when you close that thing, to turn into what? Ash. Okay? Are you getting it?
Yes.
Yes. So it will turn into ash. Later mixing with some starch. Others used to, to turn cassava. That cassava will mix with that thing. Then when you get that liquid part, when you are mixing it, becomes liquid. Like that ash part, you get starch, which is weight, okay? You feed it with some water, you mix it nicely. Others use machines, others just use the traditional way of pounding and stuff like that. Mixing it with water, it becomes the liquid state, isn't it? Liquid state, then you put it in a machine and compress down the water. Charcoal briquette. So I think that's the difference. That one is just compressing water, also dust, and that one undergoes carbonization stuff like that.
How many people come from Kanyama?
Kanyama.
Okay. Have you heard of the green space in Kanyama?
What?
Green space in Kanyama.
Yes.
It's run by the question talks about initiatives. So that's one of the initiatives run by the young people and the youth. It's called the Zambia Homeless People's Federation.
Okay.
I don't know why they call them homeless. But what they do is they get organic waste, which they have put up a very simple technology on how they extract the biogas from it. They extract biogas from it, and also the other thing that comes from there is the organic fertilizer. It's quite a beautiful thing to watch in the heart of Kanyama. It's a very nice small green space. Of which if a lot of people are going to adapt that, you can make evidence-based. You can go there and they gas, whether they have simple gas stove where people can go there.
So I have two things to say.
Yes.
First, I think we can advocate and teach people about it. But first of all, we need to go into our own households, then adapt to sustainable and renewable use. processes.
Great.
Sustainable and renewable methods.
That's a good one. Great. For the children, that's a good one. Yes. The youths, children have spoken. Youths.
Let's hear. This is usual.
Should I repeat the question? What commitments can children and youths make to contribute to these challenges? So she talked about advocacy, isn't it? Awareness.
Awareness.
Yes. She
And
talked
just
about
being
awareness. Yes, and being practical. What other things can you do about?
Okay, you demand a lot of strength.
Yes.
Yes. Because when it comes to demand, the voices are loud.
So 1, 2. Let's go.
Apart from advocacy and being practical, I feel like one important factor that we bring to the table is innovation. So, personally, I can commit to innovating plastics in Lusaka in a more sustainable manner so that I can make clothes that are wearable.
Yeah, because as young people, we are ignorant to a lot of stuff. We find that we complain about a lot of things, but we are failing to comply to that.
So, like, what's the opposite of being ignorant?
Being well informed.
So we need to be well informed, right? Okay.
No, we might be informed, but
you need to practice it.
Some people have full knowledge, they just don't do it.
Yes.
I get his point. I get his point. Sometimes you find that young people will be advocating for things that are already provided.
Yes.
I'll give you examples where people are not just well read. They'll tell you, want to advocate for such and such a policy, and that this law. The law is already there. Maybe it's just the gap in implementation. So we need them to be well read up. I get him.
I think I can commit to actually reading more and being more informed about things that are happening. Like if there's a new policy, they have to understand what it's like, what its our capabilities are, and how it can be implemented. So just being well read and get myself educated so that I can
to give ourselves to pay attention to these matters and at least do what we so that we can do what we can and at least help our country. Like just the way they say to say citizens should be someone who is patriotic about their country, meaning one should have love for his or her country. So we should have love for the world that we are living in, so that we at least take care of it. Just like, for example, even in the Christianity way we see to say God created people, to say they should take care of it. Want to degrade it, want to destroy it. That's the problem.
Let's go. Yes, go on.
We should also be very open-minded. Let's not limit ourselves to things that we know. We're doing the mission inside your head. No, we are not with the technology. No, we are not with the children. Let's be open-minded. We young people, we have energy, and it's good to use our energy to do things that
Hi, young people. It's the aspect of being selfless. Okay? When you have an opportunity to sit at the table like this, don't be self-centered. Think about that person in the community. Hey, I've had an opportunity to work with young people, and they'll tell you they want to save the people, they want to move
and transition to green energy. And also how we come up with realistic solutions. But we can't come up with solutions that are very unrealistic and are very out of the budget as a country that we have. So I feel they should be budget friendly in terms of like what we have as a country. They should be realistic and they should be something that can actually help solve the current situation now, although it may benefit the future, like not neglecting people's lives right now for us to solve something else in the future.
Okay, next.
Okay, the first thing that I want to talk about is investment. I think as a country, we should invest much in clean energy. As a country, we should invest this towards government. Then secondly, improve policy implementation. Okay. We are in this country whereby They are good at making policies, very good at making laws. I think it's important to improve also in the educational sector to at least make it possible to say when it comes to practical wise, they should also improve that in that area also, not just talking, not just writing papers, 20 pages, but you are able, you can do nothing about it. No.
Yeah. Thank you so much. I think this is our end. This is the end of our conversation in drafting this position paper to do with energy and climate in energy and transition. And I would like to also know, like, do you know that 80% of the people in Zambia are relying on biomass? 80%. So now you can imagine, what is Zambia's population?
21 million.
Somewhere there, right? So you can imagine, like 80% of the people are just relying on what? On biomass. So like,
so there the last part that you are submitting.
Yes.
I think fairness has to go in.
Fairness, huh?
Yes. Then we should not just say all of us let's buy solar panels because the hydro is not working. Think of the people that can afford. Then when it comes to, if we're talking about pollution, the developed countries will find that they pollute more than the developed. So in terms of combating climate change, let there be that fairness.
Yeah, that's true. I think there's an article. So like by adapting to these sustainable solutions, this is just an addition. By like what goals are we achieving? What types of goals are we achieving? It's a goals found under the sustainable development. What goals are we achieving? Yeah, which goals are we achieving?
I think it's
So talking about sustainable development goals?
Yes, like what goals are we achieving? So 7 saying affordable clean energy, right? Yeah. They are also achieving SDG, which is zero hunger. So they are also advancing in quality education. Because like people will know what's happening, what's the agenda. They are also advancing in climate action. We are there doing the actual conversation. We can also talk about good health, like there is no more smoke, is it? Like what affect our health. We can also talk about life of light, because it involves our lives, not only our lives, but also animals, unless they are precious. I hope what we put, if we feel like we've left something that we can add in here, there is always her, isn't it? You can see her and our submissions. She will still put that into consideration. Yes. Unless there's someone who has something to say or to add on whatever we've put in this position paper that we're doing.
To just find a balance between industrialization as well as combating climate change.
Balance between
Industrialization and combating climate change. Because for a country to develop, we need to industrialize, but then we're also fighting climate change at the same place. Because when you actually look at the developed countries, they are heavy on industries. That's why they produce food. And then we're fighting to be developed as well, which means we're also fighting to industrialize, which means we're also like trying to be the highest producers just like them. So we should try to balance between industrialization as well as conservation.
Okay.
That's why our principles like the polluter pay principle, they really have to be advocated.
Oh yeah.
You've seen how this sachet water will become a nuisance in the community. You'll find that plastic everywhere. But I have a friend.
Maybe voice protection.
Okay. Yeah, I'm talking about strengthening the polluter pays principle.
Yes.
I was citing an example of the sachets for water sachets, those sachets. I have a friend of mine who actually buys those water sachets from the young people that eat, and then she makes bags out of them. She makes bracelets, necklaces out of such things. So now, going back to the issues of polluter pay principles, I feel like the companies that are producing such, they should be held accountable to a later stage. And if they can even support such innovations, that would be good, because they are the ones that are putting that, in as much as they are making money at the expense of polluting the environment and also contributing maybe to say land pollution. So such things as polluter-based principles should really be strengthened so that
One more thing, when it comes to carbon trading, I think it's very important to sensitize people about this because it's actually an opportunity for stakeholders. I'll give an example.
Yes. All right, just to be precise, it's not a monument value that you can attach to it, but it's just. So what I'll say, it's not really that there's an attached value. Remember what you're looking at, these are integrated forms of needs and problems.
Sorry to cut you short. How much is required?
And that
29 billion goes to adaptation. 1 goes to. I talked about 29 to what? Adaptation.
Needed to leave very early because
choose like one politician. Yes, do you think
we are closing anytime soon? Yeah. Oh, we're done.
that 1 million to yeah. So I'm saying instead of 55, we should have 65. Instead of saying if we get to 65, then the 1 million
because the moment you have 65 million,
then what are we doing? So I really want to
That's why in the table states in as late as black.
So essentially, it's actually more right for very upset to export something which has manufactured probably is worried.
Good afternoon, good afternoon. How are you doing? How were the sessions, the second sessions for the afternoon? Interesting. Interesting? We had quite interesting thematic areas, right? Who are in the indigenous group? That's the village. How did you feel? Great. Have you learned something new? Hello? No. Was that a no? You. Hi, ho. Great. Who are the climate finance? Money makers is so little. You took so much time.
And they only make
All right, just transition. Why are the hands so easy? Okay, all right. So we had 3 thematic areas. Of course, I've just mentioned them, and I know that the discussions were very fruitful because I was in one of the sessions in just transition. And one thing I did pick up is the use of sustainable energy and unsustainable energy. What type of energy are you using in your households? Are you on electricity all the time using your stove? Are you using LPG, which is of course gas? Or are you using charcoal? Are you using biogas in your houses? But enough about that. We're going to our plenary sessions where, of course, Mika will be introducing them, and then once they have their 5 minutes, please stick to your time. Each group representative or rapporteur is going to have 5 minutes to present, and then, of course, we will be having Mr. Patrick to come through and just carry on with the event as.
Hello? Yeah.
Oh, you must have the energy. I thought like the energy was going to be over this time. Did you enjoy your discussions?
Yes.
I trust that they were very interesting. Those in climate finance, did you enjoy? Yes. Did you learn how to create bankable projects? Okay, we need to be seeing those projects financed. So we now move into our plenary sessions, which key participants, your rapporteurs will come on stage to present your key findings, the perspectives that you shared, because we're here to learn, we're here to share information. So please, from the climate finance group, if you're a rapporteur, please come to the stage. A round of applause for the rapporteur. Where are you? Climate finance is coming from the indigenous Narikundu. Where are you? last ones, where are you?
Give me my camera.
So you can feel like, beach ball.
No, learn yourself, learn yourself. The last ones. Yeah?
The powerhouse of Zambia.
Ah, the powerhouse of Zambia. Green transition. Please give them a round of applause. You know why this session is important? Who knows why it's important? We'll give you a prize. Don't worry.
The session is important because whatever was discussed during the discussions is what is going to be in the paper, which is going to be submitted.
Amazing. At the end, we'll tell you what the prize is. I will tell you at the end. Just stay in the business. Climate finance, are you ready? Okay, while we're waiting for climate finance, we'll start with here, the green transition. So you just have 5 minutes to do your presentation. And we want to see those that follow instructions. It's 5 minutes here. And we'll see how we're going to score them. Here's the mic.
A round of applause.
Hi everyone. Hello. Good afternoon once again. My name is Lcoy. I'm representative not only from the Indigenous Knowledge Group, but a youth reporter from Agents of Change Foundation. So as the Indigenous Knowledge Group that was going back to the roots of Zambia, we came up with points in line with what we have not only observed, but the culture that we have grown into, and it goes as follows. So these are the notices that we have had over the years and are implementing even now. So we realize that there are certain beds that when those beds are present, you get to see that when they're drinking that water from either it's a river or it's a lake, it actually symbolizes that the water quality is good. The bird flying out of a place means danger, or that there is probably a wildfire that has spread. So that comes as a warning sign. Then we also learned that from the parts of Zambia where they get to do fish farming, whenever there are waves, like let's say a large or huge number of waves, it actually symbolizes that you can't go fishing on that particular day. Then certain insects that get to come out, let's say in a certain season, let's say the rain season, symbolizes that there is a great harvest of rainfall or harvest of fish. I'll give examples of inswap as we know them, then caterpillars and chongololos as well. Then we also learned from another part of the world, which is Italy, that industrial cattle is responsible for 25% of carbon dioxide reduction, which actually means that there is a great preservation of cattle that needs to be done. Then one of our members also brought forth the point to say ash in the olden days was used to treat certain illnesses. So even as we looked at all these points, we asked ourselves a question of what exactly went wrong, and we came up with the following points. Lack of understanding of the systems. So it was just today when other members learned that Chitenimene system didn't really mean cutting down of the entire tree, but cutting down of branches. Then another point of what went wrong was lack of self-research of systems. So we also came up with points of what exactly needs to be done, which include revision of the curriculum, which is the education system, us not leaving the indigenous people behind, in that we are not to sideline them, because we learned that with the other conferences that have been held, there were actually there was an opportunity of the people of the Amazon that was given to them in order to learn how best they actually preserve the animals and the forest. Another point is incorporating smart agriculture. I don't know how many have heard of hydroponics, where you get to grow crops from water. Then we also have advocating for funds in order to preserve indigenous practices. Those were the points we came up with. And even as I end, I'll end with a quote that I picked up from one of their members that says, when something is not passed down, it breaks down. Thank you.
You can give a very big round of applause. I still have 95 days right on the clock.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon again. The energy, okay. My name is Chumale, coming from Carpenter, Zambia. I am the communications officer. And I was part of the group called Climate Finance. So first of all, start by explaining what climate finance is. Climate finance is the money that helps us fight climate change and prepare us for its effects. Now let's dive into the questions that helped us to discuss and understand climate finance. So question one was saying, what is the main challenge under the theme climate finance? And the points that we had to highlight are, number one, limited resources in climate finance, limited access to climate finance, and weak implementation processes at local level. Then the last, we go to point two, which made us to come up with the root causes of tension between local and national systems. The second one is heavy dependency on international funding. We are not looking outside the box, we are just trying to depend heavily on international funding. Then point three is saying difficult access to funding for women, youths, and persons living with disabilities. And the last one is saying limited involvement of youth in decision making. Youths are getting the final products. Then the third question, identify the effects. So under this one, we said we have noticed an increase in poverty and inequalities, youth unemployment, and of course, food insecurity. Question four, we highlighted the existing good practices of climate finance, and the first one is the updated NDCs. We had a discussion on this table about NDCs. So yes, updated NDC, CDF, carbon markets, youth-led initiatives on planting trees, solar, forestry, agriculture, and youth-led campaigns. Then finally, recommendations. The first recommendation is strengthen accountability in climate finance. Build strategic partnerships. Then increase in climate action finance allocation. Youth sensitization. We need more of that. And of course, community-based climate outlets where I, as Solomale, can just go and say, oh, okay, I need more information on this, and I will be able to get the information that I need. Thank you very much.
So I still have 99, 1 minute left.
Thank you very much.
So I spoke at the incident, 1 minute lunch.
Hi everyone, my name is Chishimba, calling from the University of Zambia, and the topic that my group had was energy and gas transition. So under this, we identified the core problems, we identified the root causes, the impacts, the existing good practices, development solutions, the youth commitment, and policy recommendations. So I'm going to start with the core problem, and what we came up with was the non-sustainable energy resources are more expensive than the sustainable energy resources, which causes most people in the country to go for charcoal unlike installing solar panels. Then the effects that this has, the non-sustainable resources, are that it leads to overproduction of toxic gases. As we all know, charcoal produces toxic gases that even if we are using in our houses can affect us. Then the existing good practices that we discussed are, sorry, just a minute. A just transition, which means we move from non-sustainable energy to a more sustainable energy, and this is done slowly and in a better manner. Yes. And some of the initiatives that we have, sorry, I'm so sorry. Yeah. Yeah, the production of charcoal briquettes, which are a better source of energy than using charcoal. Yeah, and some of the commitments that we can do as youth and children are, we can advocate for it, we can advocate for sustainable energy, we can be practical instead of just talking about it, we can be innovative,